Hey, how's it going, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Smoke Break, where I teach you my own personal spins on a lot of barbecue classics, smoking meats, grilling, and general cooking recipes. Today's episode falls under the category of smoking, because we're going to fire up the Masterbuilt Sportsman Elite Electric Smoker today, and we're doing a bacon brisket. Beautiful slab of pork belly. If you're not familiar with what bacon brisket is, let me show you the way. Without further ado, let's fire it up. So a lot of you may be asking, what is a bacon brisket? Well, it is a slab of pork belly that I got from J&R Meats in Paso Robles. Shout out to them. It's a bigger cut of pork belly that I quartered up, but this is what we're using today. And why we call it a brisket is because we treat it like a brisket. We're gonna cook this like a brisket. We're gonna smoke it like a brisket. And when we slice it up at the end, it's gonna have great bark on the outside of it, and when you slice into it, it kind of looks like a lean cut of brisket. So, but since it's a pork belly, it's 50-50 fat and meat, so the ratio is perfect. It's not going to dry out, plenty of moisture in it. I'm going to let this sit for about 15-20 minutes while the smoker gets good and hot. I already seasoned it, and what I seasoned it with today was the Grill Mates brown sugar bourbon seasoning and Traeger brand pork and poultry apple honey rub, so it's going to give it a sweet note along with that brown sugar bourbon, so it's going to be a good flavor contrast. And at the end of it, of course, I got to shout out Kinder's and use that hot barbecue, so I'll show you how to assemble it later on. So let's go get the smoker fired up. So I got the Masterbuilt Sportsman Elite coming up to about 225. I'm going to keep it between 225 to 250 range today, and I'm using cherry wood. Got the smoker fired up. The smell of cherry wood is filling the air. And this is that beauty. Look at that color on that. That's going to be a beautiful bark when it's all said and done. I love how it's just bright in color, that orange mahogany, however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. And the moisture you can see is pulling back. So let's throw this beautiful slab in here. Just pick it up. I like to lay it right center, front and center. And you just kind of bunch it up a little bit. Make sure everything's even so it will cook evenly. Center rack, push it back. And let's close the door. It's going to be about a 3.5 at most 4-hour cook. We're looking for an internal of 200 degrees for sure. Carry over to about 206, 207. It's going to be fall apart tender. We'll be back. So the pork belly has been in the smoker for about 2 hours exactly. And as you can see, it's starting to develop a really good bark on the outside. A good telltale sign of that is you should be able to rub this off without anything coming off. Clearly something's coming off, so it hasn't quite yet set the way I want it, but it's rendering down beautifully. The fat cap is looking good. I'm cooking it fat side up, and it's just the way I do it. It's kind of the way they do things in Texas, even though we're in California, but we can do it on the West Coast as well. So I'm gonna close the door back up and let that keep cooking. All right, so after exactly 4 hours and 15 minutes, this is the final product. Let's check the temps real quick, and you can always tell because it's, look at that, no resistance whatsoever. This probe is going straight in there like butter. I'm gonna stick it into the thickest part of the pork belly, and we're gonna temp it real quick. Let's see how we did. Beautiful, right on the money. It's gonna hit 200 right now, I guarantee. And yeah, we're there. It's gonna hit 200. It's gonna carry over smoke, so I think I did a great, look at that. There you go. So we're at 200 internal. I'm gonna let this rest on the board for about 5-10 minutes at most, and we will cut into it, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with it. Look at that mahogany color. Beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final product of the beautiful pork belly brisket that we did today. I'm pretty pleased. This is my first time smoking a pork belly brisket. I've worked with pork belly many times, pork belly burnt ends, whatever, but doing it kind of a brisket style is new to me, and I'm pretty pleased. This is juicy. I checked it earlier with the probe, and it was just like butter going in. I mean, this is beautiful. And I'm gonna show you real quick how we're going to assemble this. Now, you can utilize pork belly however you want. You can just slice it up, have it like that over some white rice and some veggies. You can make tacos out of them. Today, we're making ciabatta roll sandwiches with the pesto garlic mayo that I made from scratch earlier. Got some sauteed veggies on the side, and I also picked up this Serrano pepper jam courtesy of J&R Meats and Paso Robles. So, real quick, let's do this. First things first, though. Let's see how we did on this. I'm gonna cut it right in the middle first. Like butter, no resistance. This knife is sliding right through. As you can see, please get a close-up of that. Amazing. The aroma in the air, the flavor, licking the tips of my fingers. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. So, how I'm going to assemble this sandwich, first things first, I'm gonna start off with the base. Take my little butter knife and do one side with the garlic pesto. Spread that on there. I'm ready to eat. It's been on here for about 4 hours or so, so we're losing sunlight. That's gonna be one half. The Serrano jam, it's gonna be on the other half. It's gonna have a little bit of a kick. It's not too spicy. It's something you can tolerate, but depending on your spice level, of course, on your palate. Do that on the other side. Okay, so got that out of the way. Slice into this. I'm gonna do mine. You can slice it how thin or as thick as you want. For my sandwich, personally, I'm gonna do a little bit thicker. So let's go down. And be careful when you slice. You don't want to rip out all the bark that you work so hard to develop during the cook process, so because it will slide off. Look at that. Like big slabs of bacon. Oops. Some came apart, but that's all right. So I'm gonna lay down these on the base. It's super hot, so watch out. And for mine, I like to use that Kinder's hot barbecue sauce. As little or as much as you would like. Just a little drizzle. It's as simple as that. You can add some veggies to it if you'd like, or however really you want, but this is how I'm gonna do it. Don't mind the dogs. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dig in. I gotta do a little shake and shimmy. Delicious. Fall apart in your mouth tender. I mean, I couldn't wait fast enough to try this. So this is what we're having for dinner tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you checking me out for another episode of Smoke Break. Make this for your family, make this for yourself, whatever. I guarantee it will not be a disappointment. But always remember to make it your own way, however you feel comfortable. So hit that subscribe button, give me a like, show some comments down there, some feedback. I appreciate y'all checking me out for another episode, and we will see you on the next one.